The shape of the Earth. It's one of those topics that you'd think would be uncontroversial, like the undesirability of wet socks or the universally recognized fact that nobody truly understands the offside rule in soccer. Yet here we are, in an age of satellites, space exploration, and exceedingly high-resolution Google Earth imagery, debating whether our planet resembles a basketball or a pancake. Now, if you travel back in time, preferably in a nifty blue police box or via a DeLorean, you'd find our ancestors had quite the imaginative array of theories about our planet's shape. Yet surprisingly, many of our ancient forebears weren't walking around thinking they were living on a cosmic pizza. The ancient Greeks, bless them, with their olive oil and their uncanny ability to invent words for everything, had Pythagoras, who hinted at Earth's roundness as early as the 6th century BC. They didn't just have a hunch, they had proof. Take Eratosthenes, the chief librarian of the Alexandria Library. And believe me, in those days, that was as prestigious as being an Instagram influencer today. Around 240 BC, he measured the shadow lengths at 2 different locations and calculated the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. Then there were the sailors. You see, they noticed that as ships sailed away, the vessel sank hull first over the horizon, while their masts wobbled about for a tad longer before also disappearing. It's hard to imagine that happening on a flat plane unless the ships were being sneakily swallowed by a giant sea monster, which, as amusing an idea as it is, seems less plausible. Now, fast forward a few centuries to the medieval era, a time synonymous with chain mail, questionable hygiene, and apparently, according to some, a universal belief in a flat Earth. But here's the twist. That's pure poppycock. During this period, scholars in the Islamic world were diving deep into astronomy and mathematics. They knew the Earth was as round as a well-cooked falafel. In the Christian world, scholars like Thomas Aquinas happily referenced the roundness of the Earth in their theological writings, and nobody batted an eyelid. The myth that folks in the Middle Ages believed in a flat Earth was actually popularized much later, in the 19th century. Authors like Washington Irving, who penned a largely fictional biography of Christopher Columbus, and others played up this idea for drama. After all, nothing adds tension to a voyage narrative like the fear of sailing off the edge of the world. But the reality? Most educated people, by the time Columbus set sail, were perfectly aware he wasn't going to tumble off some cosmic edge into the jaws of a space dragon. So while it's tempting to imagine a world of yore filled with people fearing the edge of the map, history paints a more nuanced picture. And as we trek forward, it's good to remember that sometimes our understanding of the past is just as roundabout as the journey of discovering the shape of our home planet. The modern resurgence. As we journey through time, it's rather like going through a vast cosmic wardrobe and finding ourselves in Narnia. Except instead of a Snow Queen and Turkish delight, we have conspiracy theorists and YouTube algorithms. The shape of the Earth, that age-old topic that had once been settled, experienced a renaissance of thought, or perhaps a regression, in the more recent chapters of our history. Enter the 19th century, a period renowned for its leaps in industrialization, passion for waistcoats, and an inexplicable fascination with facial hair. It was also, for some reason, the era that gave a fresh breath of life to the concept of a flat Earth. The torchbearer of this revival was a chap named Samuel Rowbottom. With a name like that, you'd expect him to be the protagonist in a Dickens novel. But no. Rowbottom penned the delightfully titled Zetetic Astronomy, Earth, Not a Globe. An intriguing tome which, spoiler alert, didn't exactly earn a stamp of approval from the scientific community. Using a series of, let's say, unique experiments, such as watching boats on rivers, Rowbottom proclaimed the Earth was flat, and this was the undebatable truth. His ideas took hold among a subset of the population and gave birth to the Flat Earth Society in the 20th century, a group that persists in some form even today. One must give it to them for their sheer commitment. While the rest of the world was swooning over the space race and Neil Armstrong's lunar strut, they remained steadfast, declaring it all an elaborate hoax. As humanity literally reached for the stars, the Flat Earth theory, against all odds, stuck to its, well, flat guns. Then came the dawn of the 21st century, a time of cat memes, avocado toast, and, oddly enough, a digital amplification of the Flat Earth theory. If the 19th century lit the spark, the internet was the gust of wind that turned it into a bonfire. In a world where information travels faster than you can say, "Is this gluten-free?" all sorts of ideas found a platform. The labyrinth of the web, with its echo chambers and rabbit holes, played its part. YouTube, ever eager to keep viewers engaged, often led the curious from one conspiracy theory video to another, making the descent into the world of alternative facts as slippery as a buttered linoleum floor. Moreover, celebrities, who clearly missed the memo about sticking to their scripts, gave these theories their 15 minutes of fame, tweeting and speaking about their skepticism towards a round Earth. Suddenly, ancient beliefs were back in vogue, much like vinyl records and handlebar moustaches. In the vast democratic arena of the internet, where every idea has a platform, the Flat Earth theory found its tribe. It's a testament to the digital age, a time when, amidst the plethora of information, the challenge isn't in finding voices, but discerning the echoes of truth. And so, as we continue our spherical, or should I cheekily say flat, journey through time and space, it's evident that beliefs, much like fashion, can be cyclical. But it's always worth remembering that while the world might sometimes seem flat, especially on those Mondays that stretch endlessly, it's been reliably round for quite a long time. Key proponents and their claims. In our continuing exploration of the fascinating world, round or flat, depending on who you ask, of flat Earth beliefs, we must tip our hats to the very determined individuals who've kept this theory not only alive but also kicking. It's like finding out there's a dedicated society for the belief that the moon is made of green cheese. And if there is one, I'd really love an invite. Now, the Flat Earth Society, oh what a delightful group, has roots reaching back to the 19th century, as we've established. But its modern avatars, the children of the digital age, have truly turned things up a notch. Today's proponents, equipped with Twitter handles and YouTube channels, possess a fervour that would make Rowbottom blush. There's been a handful of influential figures. There's Eric Dubé, for instance, a man who's written more about the flat Earth than most have written about. Well, anything, really. Then there's Mark Sargent, who famously put forth the Flat Earth Clues series, kind of like Blue's Clues, but with fewer talking salt shakers and more conspiracy. Beyond individuals, there have been conferences. Yes, conferences. Imagine Comic-Con, but with everyone discussing horizon lines and the sun's suspiciously circular route. It's genuinely remarkable. In an age of division, it's oddly heartwarming to see people unite under the banner of an idea that, to most, seems outlandishly retro. Now, onto the meat and potatoes, or should I say the pancake and syrup, of their claims. First, there's the horizon argument. It looks flat, they say, gazing into the sunset. And you know what? To the naked eye, it certainly does. Flat earthers claim that if the Earth was truly a big blue marble, you'd see a curve. But no matter how high you go, even atop the tallest mountain or in a plane, the horizon stays obstinately, maddeningly level. Then there's water. Oceans, lakes, those tiny puddles you step in when wearing socks. They're all flat, not curved. Water doesn't bend. It always finds its level, they proclaim. And while most of us are just trying to figure out how to keep our houseplants alive, these folks are puzzling over aquatic physics. Last, but by no means least, is the deep-seated skepticism towards NASA and other space agencies. Every moon landing, every International Space Station broadcast, every satellite image is, they assert, an elaborate piece of theatre. Hollywood's got nothing on NASA, it seems. The evidence they put forth is a cocktail of genuine queries, misinterpretations, and an enduring suspicion of authority. But what's truly noteworthy is the underlying desire to question, to probe, and to not accept the mainstream narrative blindly. Though their conclusions might baffle many a globetrotter, their tenacity is, dare I say it, world-class. And there you have it, the organizations and their arguments, laid out flatter than a pancake on Sunday morning. Next time you look at the horizon, perhaps you'll spare a thought for these folks who see the world quite literally in a different light. Debunking the flat Earth. Ah, the moment you've all been waiting for. The veritable pièce de résistance. How do we, with all our sophisticated gadgets, satellite selfies, and a history of hurling ourselves into the vast unknown, prove that Earth is more beach ball than frisbee? Let's start with something as plain as the nose on your face, or perhaps more aptly, the ship on your horizon. Ever noticed how ships don't just pop into view, fully formed, but seem to rise from beneath the sea as they approach? As if some great cosmic director is yelling, "Enter stage front!" That's because, dear theorist, they're coming over the Earth's curve. A flat Earth would have ships appearing as tiny specks, gradually growing larger, like a child running towards you with a wild flower, or more likely, a freshly found insect. Then there's air travel. I don't know about you, but I've always wondered why planes don't just go in straight lines on the map. Instead, they follow these arc-like routes, the sort that looks like a stretched-out rainbow or a smiling mouth in a toothpaste ad. Well, on a globe, these arcs are the shortest distance between 2 points, known to the savvy traveller as Great Circle Routes. On a flat Earth, pilots would either be taking the scenic route or, I assume, just enjoying making cropped circle-like patterns in the sky. Photography deserves a mention too. Now, I'm no Ansel Adams, but even I know that Earth's shadow during a lunar eclipse isn't a quirky rectangle, but a gentle curve, reminiscent of a slightly over-eaten chocolate cookie. That rounded shadow? It's Earth's way of photobombing the moon and whispering, "See? Told you I'm round." However, while these pieces of evidence are as plentiful as breadcrumbs after a pigeon party, there's nothing quite as compelling as the words of those who ventured where only a few have gone before. Space. Buzz Aldrin, the second man to take a moonwalk, and no, not the Michael Jackson kind, once said, "We went to the moon, and it was not a mirage." One would assume he had a decent view of our home planet from up there. I imagine it's hard to mix up a sphere with a pancake, even with the disorienting vastness of space as a backdrop. Then there's the testament of astronauts aboard the International Space Station, or ISS. They see around 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. If Earth was flat, I'd imagine the sun would either loom perpetually like a ceiling lamp or just hover awkwardly, unsure of where to set or rise. In essence, every astronaut's testament is a love letter to our round, blue planet, a marble in the cosmic jar, swirling with white clouds and blue oceans. Their words echo the sentiment, "We've seen it. We've orbited it. Trust us. It's round." So there you have it. The Earth, despite the convictions of a very adamant few, is not a cosmic frisbee, but a glorious globe, twirling and dancing in the vast ballroom of space. Now, isn't that a spin worth believing in? The psychology behind the belief. As we find ourselves adrift in this grand, ever-expanding universe of information, much of which seems as reliable as a chocolate teapot, it's only natural to wonder why some people, when presented with a bouquet of evidence, choose to pluck out the plastic flowers and declare them the most genuine of the lot. There's something utterly human about wanting to pull back the curtain, to see the mechanics of the grand show and to declare, "Aha! I knew it!" Perhaps it's akin to the childlike joy of thinking one has outsmarted the adults, a gleeful chuckle in the face of established wisdom. For many, the world is an intricate jigsaw puzzle, and if someone tells you that certain pieces don't fit, well, maybe you're just playing a different game. The modern world is as intricate as Grandma's best knitting. In a realm where everything seems interconnected, and yet nothing truly makes sense, why do we have so many types of milk substitutes? Some folks find solace in simplified explanations. The Earth is flat, is straightforward, a clean-cut narrative in a world of messy truths. It offers a secret knowledge, a wink across the room that says, "We know what's really going on." Let's give credit where credit's due. Skepticism is healthy. After all, if everyone just nodded along to every yarn spun, we'd still be entertaining notions of the world resting on the back of a rather patient turtle. The knack, however, lies in knowing what to question, how to question, and when to tip one's hat and admit, "All right, perhaps I had that one a tad wrong." Critical thinking is the spicy sauce to the informational feast we face daily. It's what keeps our minds agile and our beliefs grounded. But as with any spice, it's all about the balance. Too little, and everything tastes bland. Too much, and well, you might just find yourself thinking that satellite photos are part of a vast space fish conspiracy. Don't ask, it's a deep rabbit hole. There's value in questioning narratives, in turning them over like curious stones on a beach, seeing what scuttles out from underneath. But there's equal merit in recognizing the vast strides humanity has made in understanding our world. The idea isn't to blindly accept every nugget of information, but rather to munch on it, savor its texture and flavor, and then decide whether it's worthy of swallowing. To conclude, dear theorist, in a world where information is as abundant as leaves in a forest, it's only human to sometimes pluck out the odd ones and weave tales around them. The tale of the flat Earth is one such story, a testament to human imagination and our unwavering desire to see the world not just as it is, but as we wish it to be. And while we might chuckle or shake our heads at such beliefs, let's not forget, it's this very spirit of curiosity, of challenging the known, that has led humanity to its greatest discoveries. So here's to the dreamers, the skeptics, and the storytellers. May we continue to question, to explore, and to marvel at this wondrous spinning globe of ours. No edges attached. If you enjoyed this conspiracy theory deep dive, you can buy my book Conspiracies on Amazon and order the full audiobook on Audible, where I delve even deeper into the labyrinth of modern myths, guiding you through a mesmerizing journey of the most tantalizing conspiracy theories of our age. Links in the description below.